going to be a big day.
It is.
Big day today, especially down in Texas. After breaking quorum for nearly 2 weeks, Texas Democrats are set to return home in the next few days.
The Democrats announced they'll head home on two conditions. First, if Texas Republicans end the ongoing special legislative session, and second, if California releases its own redistricting proposal. So the fight may have started in Texas, but it's quickly turning into a national spectacle. California's governor has officially asked voters there to allow state officials to redraw congressional maps, despite currently having an independent commission that handles it. Newsom announced yesterday that if Texas moves forward with redistricting, his state will follow suit and attempt to turn 5 of the 9 Republican seats in California blue.
The governor of California plans to hold a special election on November 4th, asking the voters to let the Democratic majority-run state temporarily redistrict California's House seat. Right now, as we've been discussing, California has an independent redistricting commission, something a majority of Californians are supportive of, and that is according to recent polling. The governor, though, said this move to redistrict would be temporary and vows it could go back to the commission after the 2030 census.
We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States that called a sitting governor of the state of Texas and said, find me 5 seats. We're doing it in reaction to that act. We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear district by district all across this country.
Governor Newsom went on to say that he would only do this in Democratic-led California if one of the Republican-led states did this.
And turning back to the Lone Star State today could bring the end of the special legislative session in Texas to redraw the state's congressional boundaries. Governor Greg Abbott said he'll call a special session, a second one, with the same agenda and maybe more. And we are joined by Texas Democratic State Representative Diego Bernal with details on the redistricting fight and why lawmakers are deciding to return. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So this has been quite a journey for you guys. First of all, to leave. Secondly, to possibly be threatened with arrest and brought back. And now your decision to go back. What's behind that?
Well, I think, as you mentioned before, we really want to make sure that things are fair. We want to make sure that this was a national conversation, knowing full well that this would be bigger than just Texas. And I think what's happening in California demonstrates that and recognizes that. So number one, we're committed to killing the special session. We're committed to killing the first round of trying to pass these bills. And it looks like, although it's not certain, it looks like that may happen today. We will see. And beyond that, we recognize that California is now starting to act and very decisively. We expect there might be more than that, but we wanted to make sure that it was more than just Texas operating in a silo publicly, because we knew that that wasn't going to be the case. And now the conversation, as our conversation here demonstrates, the conversation is a larger national conversation, as it should be.
Representative Bernal, you and many of your other former colleagues, you all have family down in Texas. What has this been like over the last 30 days or so to sort of upend your lives to make sure that this redistricting can't go forward?
Oh, you asked a tough question. I've got a young child, and I missed the first day of school. That's rough. It's not fun for me. She's not happy with me. Her birthday's coming soon. I really would like to be there for that. But beyond that, look, all of us have jobs, all of us have lives. The things that we have to do to keep our lives going, those things are on pause. Believe it or not, a lot of us are just regular paycheck to paycheck working class people. And it's hard to step away from that, but it is absolutely worth it, because the moment in time, the moment in history is critical. And once you understand the enormity and the importance of the moment, you are compelled to act. And I think that's what you'll find here. I also want to point out that all the things that the governor tried to get us back, none of it worked. I mean, that's how serious our conviction is. The other side, they seem to care mostly about their seats. That's why they're drawing these maps in the first place, is because they care mostly about remaining politicians. And yet all the things that the governor tried, the DPS threat, the FBI, the fines, there's been a bomb threat. Now they're talking about redrawing our own districts. They've taken us to court to kick us out of office. All the things that would work on them didn't work on us. And we're still here, and we're ready to go, and we're ready to keep fighting. So I think that distinction, that difference between conviction and cowardice is very, very clear here.
So the Republicans, of course, were painting a different picture. They were basically calling you guys traitors for leaving, particularly because the flooding issue wasn't resolved, how to help all of the people who are still trying to recover from those extraordinary floods. What do you have to say to that?
Well, how much time do you have?
A little bit.
So first of all, let's be clear. And every journalist can look this up, and every political scientist across the country can confirm this. Greg Abbott has always had the ability to pick up a pen and write a check to Kirk County to help with flood relief. He has decided not to do that. He's done it before. He did it in 19. He did it in 21. He did it to fund his border wall. He can certainly do it now. What they really want is for us to go back so they can bring us to work on their maps. That is what they care about the most. In fact, the call of the House, that is the maneuver to say, hey, we're going to send DPS after these representatives to try to bring them back to the House floor. They're not trying to bring us back to arrest us and put us in jail. They want to bring us back to put us on the House floor to vote on the maps. And the call of the House says, bring them back to vote on the maps. It doesn't say to vote on Kirk County. It doesn't say to vote on flood relief. It is the maps. So all of that is a charade. All of it is a sham. If we get a chance to work on it, great. But does he need us? He absolutely does not need us. In fact, he could end the special session right now, take a minute, grab his checkbook, write the check, and then do whatever else he wants to do. That is completely 100% up to him, and it always has been.
So this saga has been going on long enough for some polling to get done. We have some numbers about redistricting in Texas. This is among Texas voters. 38% of voters oppose the proposal to redraw congressional maps. Slightly more than that, just slightly, 36% support it, and another 26% were unsure. For those folks who aren't familiar with Texas politics, was there any other alternative other than Democrats leaving the state in order to stop this? Is there anything else you all could have done to prevent those maps from being drawn that would have kept you in the state?
Look, breaking quorum, as we just discussed, is not fun. This is not a field trip. I would rather be there for all these important moments with my own child. So breaking quorum is two things. One, it is a tool of last resort, but it is nonetheless a tool. It is enshrined in the Texas Constitution. So we had to take a step back and say, what can we do to counteract this, to try and stop it, and at the same time recognize that it is bigger than Texas, larger than Texas. It is really about the state and nature of our democracy. And that is why we chose this route, because it really was the only thing we had available at that time.
Having been away and now coming back, and we talked about this a little bit early on, you're beginning to see other states, Democratic states, jumping onto this bandwagon. How does that impact you and everybody else who walked?
What I really hope it does, speaking just for myself, is I hope it causes everyone to pause and say, this is really not the way to do this. Mid-decade redistricting isn't the preferred method. Independent redistricting commissions doing it without all of this politics, that's better. And by the way, in Texas, they're not doing it just by politics. They're doing it by race, and they're doing it insidiously, they're doing it intentionally. It is a racist map. Don't be confused. It absolutely is. But I recognize that this is not preferable, but when someone takes off the gloves and gives you a knuckle punch in the face, you have no other option but to square up. And that's what we're doing.
Texas State Representative Diego Bernal, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really do appreciate it.